You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello and welcome to Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio. Thank you for joining us. We're your hosts. My name is Marcy Davis, and my co-host is my trusty service dog, Whistle. And we're thrilled to be with you today to talk about our favorite subject, working dogs and working animals. And today, our special guest is Hawaiian Representative Ching. And Representative Ching was born and raised in Hawaii, where she was actually a public school teacher. But today, she's a member of the Hawaii legislature, and she has sponsored House Bill 1596. And that bill is to officially designate the second week of August as National Assistance Dog Week in Hawaii. How cool is that? And we're going to talk with Representative Ching today about her legislation and her advocacy on behalf of assistance dogs in Hawaii. So come right back after these quick messages as we welcome Representative Ching.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
At Petco, we really love pets. There isn't anything we won't do to make sure they're getting the best products and the best care. So when you ask us a question like,
so how do you feel about cat condos?
We can say from experience,
Feels like home for her.
Enter the code WORK10, W-O-R-K, the number 10, and get 10% off any order. No minimum at petco.com.
There's a movement afoot, ShoeBuy.com. Join the millions of people who shop ShoeBuy.com's over 400 brands and 500,000 products. Order now and get free shipping and free return shipping. ShoeBuy.com, the world's greatest shoe store.
Walk your dog in style and comfort. Enter the code WORKING, W-O-R-K-I-N-G, at checkout and get a 10% discount plus free shipping at ShoeBuy.com.
How would you like your business to reach out and invite in our audience? We have a brand new trademark concept called Info Seeds. Info Seeds are short 20-second seeds of information about your place of business, practice, or service. We only have a limited number of slots left. For more information, visit
PetLifeRadio.com.
Click on sponsorship information. There you can listen to a sample of Info Seed or email us at
PetLifeRadio.com.
Remember, only a limited number of opportunities are available.
Hi, this is Tim Link, host of Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. Join me as we feature interviews with best-selling pet-related authors, award-winning writers, journalists, and bloggers. And we'll tell stories about the animals and interesting topics about the animals in our lives. Each of the interviews will give you a first-hand knowledge about why the authors and writers chose a particular story, what the feature animals meant to them, and what has become of those animals that we've talked about. And of course, I'll also share stories from my own books, blogs, articles, and experiences. So be sure to join me and the writers and authors on Animal Rights.
Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio. We're thrilled to have with us today Hawaii Representative Ching. Hello, Representative Ching, and welcome to Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio.
Hi there. Hi, Marcy.
Hello.
Aloha.
How are you? Aloha. That sounds awesome on a snowy day here in New Mexico.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I have to admit, it's pretty sunny over here in beautiful Hawaii.
Wow,
so we send our love and aloha.
Well, thank you. And what's the temperature over there today?
Oh, I don't want to make you all feel it, but probably in the 80s, in the high 70s or 80s.
Oh, well, I know what a beautiful place it is. I had the opportunity to visit there with my service dog, Morgan, and it was just gorgeous. We had such a wonderful time. So you are a part of a beautiful, beautiful area there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, we appreciate it, but we do appreciate all of the U.S.
Yes,
we know
absolutely.
Everybody's got their own beauty.
Yes. Well, tell us about your House Bill 1596. How did you decide to create that?
Oh, well, thank you so much for asking. I have been a longtime advocate of dogs as our Hawaiian Humane Society here, our association down here in Hawaii has known, and I've spoken up repeatedly for dogs because of their service. What has distinguished, I believe, the canine in so many special ways is its special service to the human race, earning it the distinction as being called man's best friend. And I have used that argument on the floor for anti-cruelty laws that luckily we passed a few years ago here in Hawaii. But also I represent the 27th House District here in the state of Hawaii. And one of the organizations one of the numerous actually organizations of human services in my district is Ho'opono for the blind. And I regularly do support them and come and join in their white cane walk. And we have a wonderful walk around the state capitol with our assistance dogs. And I have just had, I must admit, I'm guilty of a personal love for dogs from a young age. My mother had 10 dogs. She's now cut that down in adulthood to 6.
Oh.
She has a nice big place to handle it. And I'm a dog lover from early on. But I think my love of dogs comes also maybe more in a personal way also from my work as a teacher. And I taught English as a second language, which also dovetailed with the special education program in my district at a school called Ma'e Ma'e. And I always knew the wonderful healing aspects of dogs, and I think that dogs can be a model for our young people, too, of what we'd like to see in our people. Participation, cheerfulness, bravery, wanting to help. An attitude that says, I'm here, I'm happy, and I want to help. And I think that's a great attitude. And I think I'd like to see that not only in our canine friends, but even more of it in our citizens and see them get participate in civics. But what better way than this wonderful National Assistance Dog Week legislation and what you folks have been doing in it on the national level, National Assistance Dog Week. I mean, these are particularly our special canines.
Well, I just love that. I love that idea as dogs as role models because I could not agree with you more for the loyalty, the generosity, the selflessness that these animals provide to us, especially to people with disabilities like myself. The freedom, the independence that they give us is just, it's so hard to articulate. And to see someone like you who's a decision maker and a leader in your state and in our country to recognize that's just so awesome. And I'm so excited that you are taking up that banner and waving it proudly and trying to get this designated as an official week in Hawaii.
Oh, well, thank you. I think it's long overdue. I really do. Because, when we say as a community, as a society, that these are values that we value, then I think we make a statement that leads communities and individuals to reaffirm that what they always knew, that we're it's so important to help each other and to be cheerful and to be, wanting to help each other, being brave and all those qualities I talked about. Another one is forgiveness. I mean, dogs, they'll, something happens and, they might be silent for a little bit, but they're right back on there.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
And that's part of healthiness. They're finding that all of these things are healthy. In fact, I just met with Dan Butner in Washington, D.C., who has been famous for Blue Zones in terms of, studying healthiness around the globe. And every single study, he said this quite clearly, every single study on dogs has affirmed positively that they are good for us. They are good for our health, and we know why. It's their attitude, as you say, selflessness and helping and the joy of serving. And isn't that what we want? Isn't that what we want as a community? Yeah.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And that's so cool that they have studies to prove that, because we know that from our own experiences and in our hearts, but to have that scientifically proven is even better.
Exactly. That's what I told. That's fun to hear you say that, because that's verbatim what I've said. We dog lovers have intrinsically known this, but now it's time to be able to say to others, well, the facts are behind us too, for those that may not own a dog or understand it and understand what they do. And one of my speeches really was about the service of dogs. They, especially after the tragic 9/11, event, we call attention again that dogs are so really God's gift to man, maybe, as a man's best friend, God's gift. My girlfriend says, yeah.
Yes, I certainly feel that way every day, every minute of every day, because of the freedom that Whistle provides for me. It's a constant reminder of that, which I think is such a gift above and beyond having a service dog, which is amazing, but actually to be aware of that gift and that relationship between a canine and a human. It's pretty phenomenal.
Yes. It sure is.
Tell us where your bill is right now. How is it working through the legislative process?
Yes, well, it's hopefully going to be heard. We think it is going to be heard next week. We're very fortunate. We're grateful that it's only had a couple of referrals, which means that many bills have 3 committees they need to get through, and luckily our bills have 2 only. And so that is really favorable to us, that hopefully our legislature sees the importance of this. It is up for a hearing. We're confirming that next week. It should be, and we are gathering now testimony, and of course it's been very positive. So, a lot of people are more than willing and ready to come testify, and it will be moving along quite shortly. We know that the committee chair is understanding of this and wants to see this happen. So,
and then tell us, what's the process after that? What all has to happen before it could actually go into law?
Fantastic. Well, after it is heard here in the House, it will move over to the Senate. So we are asking people to please do, if they'd like to, because everybody, no matter if you're in Hawaii or not, as we say in Hawaiian, we say mana'o. That means your knowledge, your expertise, your input is helpful, because it helps legislators to further grasp this issue. We want people to go online at the Hawaii State Legislature and look up House Bill 5096. But it will go through the House, then through the Senate, and then cross over again to be able to be heard one last time as a bill, and then hopefully up to the Governor Neil Abercrombie, who just got elected, to be signed into law. And we would love that. We would just absolutely love people, to feel, if they feel this is important, the more states that actually are able to pass this legislation supports you on the national level, we believe, and you will be able to, we're going to spread the word throughout the nation. a state at a time, maybe.
Absolutely. And what's the website address where our listeners can get on to read the bill and to get more information about it?
Okay. Well, you can always just go to www.hawaii.gov/LRB/PAR.
Okay.
Okay.
And when they do that, then can they put in that House bill number, or should they look
Absolutely.
up? Okay, awesome.
Absolutely. And they are welcome to actually, because we are collecting it, even send it to my office. Okay? We'd love that because we'd love to have people, keep us up to date of their emails. So that would be emailing me at rep, R-E-P, Ching, CHING, at capital, CAPITOL, .hawaii.gov, G-O-V. So, if they could send it in to us, we'd love it because then we can track it and we can make sure that it gets to the proper committee as well.
Oh, great. Well, and we will include that on our website at Pet Life Radio so that our listeners, if they missed that they can go on to our site and get that address too, because we would love for you, our listeners, to send in your comments and support for Representative Ching and for House Bill 1596. That would be great.
Oh, thank you, Marcia. This is one of the most uplifting pieces of legislation that we've been introducing, and we have a lot of support. We see here that a lot of signatures. So my legislative friends, I think, really do see the value in this and support it.
That's awesome. And when is the legislative session over? Because I know for states it's pretty timely. So when does that end?
Right. We do end on the 4th of May, okay? But we'd like to have everybody be able to come out before that because bills, have to be heard by April. Well, they have to be heard in all of their different committees by the end of April. So we want to make sure that it gets through conference committee in April. So consistently checking in on the status would be so wonderful for our listeners to do. And we appreciate that.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, we are going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back and continue visiting with Representative Ching because we have lots of other things to visit about. So please listen to these important messages and come right back.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Love your pets but wish their medications were a lot less expensive? They are at 1-800-PET-MEDS. You'll not only save on flea and heartworm medications, but on prescriptions for arthritis, incontinence, thyroid, and more. And you get fast service, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Plus, our licensed pharmacists ensure accuracy, monitor drug interaction, and more. See why over 5 million people have trusted their pet's health to 1-800-PET-MEDS, America's largest pet pharmacy. Call now or order online.
Go to petmeds.com/work, WORK, to get 10% off any order and free shipping on orders of $39 or more at petmeds.com.
FTD's network of over 40,000 florists around the world have been creating beautiful handcrafted arrangements for 100 years. Each arrangement is delivered the same day and backed by FTD's 7-day satisfaction guarantee. For a century, people have trusted their most important occasions to the flower experts at FTD.
Since Pet Life Radio is all about puppy dogs and flowers, our listeners, that's you, can get a 20% discount on your order. Just go to fluorop.com and use the code WORK1234 at checkout. FLEUROP.com, code word WORK1234.
How would you like your business to reach out and invite in our audience? We have a brand new trademark concept called InfoSeeds. InfoSeeds are short 20-second seeds of information about your place of business, practice, or service. Is the best, most cost-effective way to invite us in. We only have a limited number of slots left. For more information, visit the website
PetLifeRadio.com.
Click on sponsorship information. There you can listen to a sample of InfoSeed. Remember, only a limited number of opportunities are available.
This year, Americans are expected to spend a jaw-dropping $36 billion on their pets. From lighted leashes to high-end spa products, the discriminating pet owner can find just about anything to pamper his or her pet. Hi, this is Michelle Fern. Join me every week for Best Bets for Pets, where we'll talk about the latest pet products and talk to the companies that make them. Best Bets for Pets, every week, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Working Like Dogs on Pet Life Radio. And we're visiting today with Hawaii Representative Corinne Ching. And she is talking to us about the innovative legislation that she has right now that's going through the Hawaii State Legislature, which that is House Bill 1596, to officially designate the second week of August as National Assistance Dog Week in Hawaii. And Representative Ching, you've got a lot of initiatives that you're working on. Tell us about the Vitality Project.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Marcy. The Vitality Project is part of the Blue Zone idea that Mr. Dan Butner of National Geographic Society came up with in his book, Blue Zones, and his second book now coming out, Thrive. It's an approach to some of our serious illnesses like cardiovascular and diabetes. And it's a holistic approach and an effective approach that Mayo Clinic also has supported and believes in out of Minnesota, that has been proven to cut diabetes and cardiovascular. In a pilot project that was actually covered in Dr. Oz's presentation on Oprah Winfrey's show in Albert Lea, Minnesota, they were able to get people healthier through three approach of getting people sort of, active, of course, getting out in the community, connecting with others, and also convenient access to fresh fruits and vegetables. But also, dogs are mentioned. So when I spoke and listened to Dan Butner present his findings and speak to people in Washington, D.C. at the National Geographic's auditorium, that's where I heard about dogs. And he said, and that's where he mentioned to his studies and research had said, dogs, every single study had confirmed that they are good for your health. And so this is part of an overall approach to things like diabetes. Diabetes is a leading cause of, aside from healthcare costs, of course, the tragedy of losing friends and family to this tragic disease, and or having to be on dialysis, which is really can be very painful and is also costly, and it's preventable. So this is a preventable disease in our nation, and I hate to report, Marcy, but the truth is Hawaii, as healthy as we are, is one of the top nations per capita for diabetes. And this Blue Zone project, Blue Zone refers to this areas in the globe that he was able to find where centenarians, people who live to 100, are living to 100 vitally, and they're still strong and all of that because of the kind of approach or lifestyle or communities they live in. And so what we're trying to say, in part also with helping raise awareness of dogs, is that dogs are healthy, and we need to start looking not just at pharmacological means of solutions and whatnot. We need to look at our communities. What are our communities doing differently than, let's say, in the very healthy generation of World War II? So many of these people living to 100 are part of that World War II generation. And they had communities where people did get out and connect. They had maybe concerts in the park. They had things that they did. They knew each other, and they ate fresh fruits and vegetables. And, they were very involved in the community with civic participation and a sense of purpose. A sense of purpose is so important. And I think dogs actually exemplify some of that too. They are clear that, I serve you and I'm here to guard the house, or I'm here to help you. You rarely see a wishy-washy dog. They know why they live on Earth, right? Right? They know they're there to guard.
So
they know they're your best friend. They're there to serve. And, sense of purpose they are finding is so important to the mental wellness of our people, emotional mental wellness, that then help people to make those right choices when they need to take their meds, or they need to make the right choice in what they're eating, or they need to make that right choice to get out today and not stay in front of the TV and eat chips. So we're looking at diabetes in a whole new way, and the dogs are part of that tool. So actually, this legislation has many benefits. One of it is as one of the facets of our Vitality project here in my district.
Yeah, and you're so right. I mean, it really is part of a holistic approach. And I think that's why we're learning more and more every day about all the different types of ways that dogs can assist people in detecting seizures, in, providing post-traumatic stress disorder relief. All the different ways that they can assist us is just like what you're talking about, is how to live an overall healthier life and have a higher sense of quality of life, really, for so many people. Because I know that's what it did for me. Once I got my first service dog, Ramona, I got promoted at work within, no time. I was traveling, all these things that were opened up to me that until I had that assistance that I needed, I was limited and I was missing out on those things. And I think so many more people are finding out about what a dog can do for them and how they can get a dog. And it's really having a huge impact.
Yes, it sure is. I mean, you're right, Marcy. As a teacher, that's why I guess I really take to this issue. You could just see how children come alive intrinsically. They see the goodness in a puppy, in a dog. They know this is something special. I mean, how about Clifford the Big Red Dog? He's just, a big part of getting kids to be happy about learning to read, and they all love Clifford the Big Red Dog, and they just know, there's something true about the dog and attitude of the dog. And I've seen children blossom, autistic children who maybe everyone thought there'd be no way to reach them, yet they come out. I see it consistently here with my own dogs. When I'll see, it's kind of funny, but, I bring my dogs to drop my daughter off, and we have a particularly happy Cavalier, King Charles, and he just embodies the joy of life, and every time he looks out, it's just, isn't it a great day? And so that's the look on his face. Nothing could go wrong today. I'm so happy to be alive. And, we've had grouchy, people are typically in their cars going to work. Maybe they haven't had their first cup of coffee, and he'll look over, and I swear to goodness, you could have a Scrooge straight out of Dickens next door. And his face, you'll just see, someone being grouchy or grumpy, and they look at Winston, and all of a sudden he's melted it, and there goes the smile. So my daughter even knows we count smiles on the way to school that Winston brings to the community and drivers.
That's beautiful. Yes, I know that's the way it is for Whistle. When he and I go out in public, he has all these friends that know his name, and they don't even know me. But they start hollering, "Hello, Whistle, Whistle." And he's so happy to see them and recognizes them when we go out in public, which is just so wonderful. And just another way that dogs are teaching us how we should interact with one another. Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
A smile a day. You know, the old saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, I think really they're going to find studies that show a smile, a nice hello, and that's what that wag of a tail is. It's kind of like a hello, a waving of saying, hi, how's your day today? And it's part of a more civil society. And, you know, in light of what happened in Tucson, we can never, myself as a former elementary school teacher, I really believe we need to start early. We can never, ever underestimate the power that someone out there, a young person or even an adult, might be just in their own world thinking, you know, terrible thoughts that aren't true, and they just need someone to reach out and say, hi, how's your day? And, you know, dogs do that. That's what I mean when I say modeling behavior. Dogs do that. They have a look where they're just, hi, how's your day? I mean, my running joke is, in our parade, our annual community parade, people really look forward to my dog. And my running joke is, my goodness, you know, sometimes I think I should run Winston instead of, you know. Maybe he, you know, and they know him by name, and they will ask me when I go out, where's Winston? And he's really part of the community and, you know, making them happy on the Christmas parade. And so people, right, you know, it's part of a healthy community. That's the end goal, is are we doing things that are so positive? And it's almost like depositing positive pennies in a jar. Every time, it might seem something small, we said hello today, or we gave a nice smile, but every time you just keep putting your pennies away in that little, you know, piggy bank or jar, and before you know it, it's filled up and you can take it to the bank and you've made a difference. And that's what dogs are. They're positive in that way, always contributing, depositing a little more on that tipping scale when some people, you know, are having a hard day, and we know there's enough negativity out there to last, you know. We don't need that. We need to tip the scale in positive energy.
Well, speaking of positive energy and festivities, do you know if there are any events planned in Hawaii for National Assistance Dog Week, the second week of August this year?
Yeah, that's another one of our initiatives. We really want to have a festival. We don't see one on the schedule now. We do know that, like I said, Ho'opono for the Blind usually comes out, and they do have, the Humane Society does have their annual pet walk, which is part of it. But we are looking into that, and if not, we'd like to start it. And
well, Whistle and I would love to come and be a part of it. That would be a lot of fun.
You bet. Well, that would be part of this week. You know, that's why we want to pass this legislation, because then the legislation helps us to get sponsors and go out there. But even so, we'd like to start earlier and get it going. We'd love to do it. Who knows, maybe for this year. We'd love to see what we can do with Ho'opono, you know, in my district, you know.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. And if for some reason the legislation doesn't pass this year, but we certainly are sending all the best wishes that it will, are you pledging to try it again for next year?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We don't stop. Sometimes it does take a couple tries, you know, but we will always just introduce it again next year, you know, because it's always been on my mind and I've always wanted to do it. It's just, you know, I do take on so many different initiatives in my district, and I've always wanted to do it. But so we started it this year, and sometimes it does take a little longer to educate everyone on it, but I do think it has a really good chance this year. So we would definitely introduce it next year and get started with a celebration of, you know, National Assistance Dog Week, or, you know, even locally tapping into that, because like I said, it's part of a healthier community, and we need to look at things in a new way. I think, you know, traditionally, I think the conventional way at looking at some of our issues that we deal with here at the legislature, whether it be crime or educational systems or healthcare, what have you, the economy, we tend to look at them, I've found in my experience, I feel, that there have been silos, that people think, okay, well, now what are we going to do about this particular issue of, let's say, crime or prisons and et cetera, and it almost in its own little laboratory. Well, that might be good for examination and closer look and details, but why don't we step back for a moment and ask the question, where do these problems arise? What are the origins of these problems? So just hold on for a moment and say, hey, what's going on? I call it sort of the metaphor of if you had a tub overflowing because you left the water on, which a lot of us have done, right? You know, you forgot, you left the tub on, and it's overflowing. Do you then start to mop it up with a sponge, or do you decide to turn off the faucet? Well, of course, you turn off the faucet first. Then you start to make sure it goes down and you wipe up the floor. Well, that is my approach in issues. I feel that we need to take a look back and say, where do these problems come from? Why do people choose the wrong road in life and get into trouble and then into prison? Why do our kids not feel a little more connected, you know, and why do they feel alone, and then therefore their performance might not be what it should be in school? Well, it's part of a healthier community, so why not try something new? You know what you're getting when you do these same approaches to issues. Why not, as they say, peck in a new place? You know, you'll see a chicken peck in the same place. Maybe there's no grain there. You need to peck in a new place where there's grain. We need to peck in a new place. We need to try something new. And my approach is looking at the source or origins. It's getting the community healthy. And dogs are a huge part of that. It's already, the statistics back us up on this. And now the next step then, we've done our research, is to go out, raise awareness, share this message with friends. The next time you're at a barbecue, here in Hawaii it might be a luau, or at a cocktail party, right? I ask people, do what we say in Hawaii. We call it a term that comes from the old World War II days from the radio stations, the coconut wireless, where they put, you know, coconut, you'd put your coconut up to your ear and a line. Remember the old telephone with two cups and a little string? Okay, well, that's the sort of joke it is. But the coconut wireless refers to, in Hawaii, the word of mouth, really, the buzz, the word of mouth. And sometimes that's just as effective, if not more, than having to technically contact your legislator. We do want people to contact their legislator, definitely. But some people feel, oh, God, that's such a higher level. Well, if that's something that, you know, someone feels, well, I don't know if I have time to do that, I don't know. Well, at least start talking to your friends. That's the first step. Start saying, you know what I heard on the radio today? I was listening about the fact that dogs are really good for your health, and that dogs have been doing this and this. And start that conversation in your own circles of influence, and start saying, and before you know it, or your blog or your email or your Facebook or your Twitter, get people talking. Because really, you know, that will make legislators realize it's out there, and a good legislator should have the pulse of their people, and they themselves will say, look, wow, I need to introduce that bill. I can see that it's a growing wave in my community, and I better get on that wave. You know, well, and that's how we influence legislators.
Absolutely. And I just can't thank you enough for your leadership and your vision, that you have that vision and that spirit of trying to make your community and your state a healthy and prosperous place for everyone, not only humans, but for canines as well. And the leadership that you are exhibiting in creating National Assistance Dog Week in Hawaii is just so commendable. And as a person with a disability and as a member of a service dog team, I just can't thank you enough. And I'm so excited that you came on today to talk with us about your innovative work. And I hope you'll come back and let us know how things went in Hawaii with the legislative session. And we will be posting the email addresses and the website information so that our listeners can be following it themselves. And we'll also write a blog posting ourselves about that as we follow it and see how the legislation goes through the process. And we hope and keep our fingers crossed that it will become law and that it will be an official holiday in Hawaii. And we also hope that we get to come and celebrate it with you one of these days.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you out here, Marcy, and tell everyone. And thank you that we'd like to have them come. Thank you for all you've done and the leadership you've brought to this issue and the National Assistance Dog Week. And it really helps us. We've gone onto your website, and you're the one taking the lead, and we just want to help you with your projects, too.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And we thank you, our listeners, for being with us today. And as I said, you can get more information up on the Pet Life Radio website. And please keep your questions, comments, and ideas for future shows coming. Whistle and I'd love to hear from you. And you can email me at Marcie, MARCIE, at PetLifeRadio.com. So thanks so much for being with us today, and we look forward to joining you again soon. Take good care.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.